Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of KFL Tonight, man. I'll be your host, presenter, broadcaster, whatever you want to call it. I am Robert Brown, aka Jigmaster. If you follow KBBT or KFL, you follow that a little bit, you may know who I am. I'm not very well known, but KBBT, KFL will get us there. So, how's everybody doing tonight, man? I hope everybody's having a good time. I don't know if anybody had a chance to do any fishing today or this past weekend. What's up, Todd Patrick? How you doing, man? Big Gun, what's going on? So, so like we said, another episode of KFL Tonight. Today we're gonna tonight's broadcast we're gonna talk to the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. It's our KFL team out of West Virginia. Get to know those guys. Learn who they are, where they come from, how they got into kayak fishing. We'll talk some fishing, man. We're just gonna, we're gonna have a good conversation. We're gonna talk some turkey, man. There might be some adult beverages or non-adult beverages. Who knows? You never know with KFL Tonight. What's up, JR Mockaby, man? How you doing? And that's what we're gonna do, man. Let's see. We got 10, 11 people watching right now. Hey, if you can do me a favor, share this feed. Let's get as many people on here watching as we can. Just like and share as much as possible. I did a little fishing today. Actually, went out to a little local pond called local Lake Smith. Didn't get any big girls, but I caught probably 15 to 20 fish in the last 3-4 hours of fishing. So it was a decent day. What's up, James Quinn, man? That's my fellow teammate there. He's watching. But like I said, like and share, man. And we're going to get this thing going. I'm going to bring on the owner/coach the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. Chris, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Robert. What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you loud and clear, man. How's your day going?
Doing good. Just got off work, so you know how it is. Getting ready to do this show, then make the kids dinner and all that stuff. So.
Oh, okay. What do you do for work?
I'm a data analyst for a hospital here locally in West Virginia.
Oh wow! I don't think I've ever met anybody who's a data analyst. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of the guys here in the local trail like to make some jokes about me, some nerdy jokes, things like that. So it's all good. But,
what's up? Let's hear the best one they come up with. What's the best
oh
one
man, I can't do anything with. I mean, whether it's purchasing a kayak or a rod and reel or whatever it is, I've got to do 5 million comparisons and break it down a million different ways. And so every time I post something on Facebook, you got guys that are posting memes and GIFs and all that stuff with Excel spreadsheets and all that stuff, just cracking jokes.
Man, it's crazy how good people are with the GIFs and Excel spreadsheets and all that stuff they can do nowadays, right?
For sure, man. We're growing up in a IT heavy world, man. Our kids are really going to take it to the next level, I think.
Absolutely, man. They're going to be the next great generation, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
with you being a data analyst, was it hard for you deciding on what kayak to get? Did you do a lot of research and analyzing of the data?
How much time we got?
We got as much time as you need. As long as we got people watching, we can go.
Man, no, I mean, I've been in pretty much every kayak. I started off back when the sport I haven't been in it, as long as some of the, pioneers, but I've been in it, as almost since, organized kayak tournaments really started getting going at the local levels. West Virginia was kind of on the forefront of that, several years ago. But I started off in a Jackson Kilroy. So I was kind of in the canoe style type kayak at first. And, I've progressed my way up through. I've basically owned every brand. I've never been on any type of pro staff where I've kind of felt tied to a particular brand. So I've felt free to, really try them all out, give honest opinions on them. And I've had, like I said, Jackson, Natives, New Canoes. But I'm currently it's a one that's not extremely popular. It's the Hobie I-11S. It's their inflatable model. So that's what I'm kind of in right now. They just dropped a kayak called the Hobie Lynx. I don't know if you saw that, but it's
yeah, I did see that.
That's kind of caught my attention because it's essentially the I-11, but in a plastic kind of model of it. So
what'd you say the name of that boat was? The Hobie what? I-11?
Hobie I-11 is what I'm in now. Yeah.
Okay. So my buddy of mine, he was this was like when the 360 had, was just hitting the road. He ordered it, but they didn't have it yet. So he was using a inflatable Hobie. Man, how do you do stability wise on that thing? Because he flipped it in the tournament.
Really?
Yeah, he flipped it.
Man, I've had that boat in some here in West Virginia, man, we've got rivers with class 5. I haven't taken down anything that serious, but I've been in some big water from a river standpoint, and we actually just got back from Lake Michigan. I had it out there.
Wow.
Yeah, and most of the days was fairly calm, but we did have a day where there was sustained wind gust 15, 20 miles per hour, and never felt uncomfortable. But I've been in that boat now for 2 solid years. And so, if I was fresh, brand new in that boat, I probably wouldn't have felt that comfortable out there on Lake Michigan. But I feel pretty good now. I don't feel like I would tip it.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, we gave him a lot of flack when he flipped it in the tournament, though.
That sucks, man. I've been there and I've lost a lot of money and gear doing that, so I feel his pain.
Yeah, man. I flipped my second bona fide here in Rudy Inlet, saltwater. I went night fishing with a buddy of mine. We was out. Well, we weren't out very far, but I had my rod and my rod holder and a redfish. I'm assuming it was a redfish the way it hit the bait and just yanked the rod out of the rod holder. But then he spit it. So the rod's right next to the kayak. And so I was like, okay, well, I can see it. And it's sinking really slow. So I started reaching in to get it. And I made the cardinal mistake of getting my head outside the gun walls.
Yeah.
And as soon as my head got outside the gun walls, man, she started to go. And I was just like, oh, yeah, this is happening. And this was in the middle of winter, man. It kind of sucked. But, I lost some gear, but obviously I kept my life. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
So what part of West Virginia are you in?
I live it's Elkview. It's actually right outside the capital, which is Charleston. It's 10, 15 minutes outside of Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay. So tell me, man, tell the world a little bit about you, man. Just a quick introduction so they can get to know who Mr. Chris Schaefer is.
Not a lot to say. I've been, as far as kayak fishing goes, I've been doing this. Like I said, I joined a club back in, I want to say 2014, 15-ish, known as the Mountain State Kayak Anglers. Been fishing with that trail, and then we've had several other trails emerge here in West Virginia. Since then, I fished some of their tournaments. But I've been doing this, really since we started having organized tournaments. And, I kind of got into it early and, started doing some of the national things, not a lot of them, but, every year it wasn't too terribly difficult to qualify for the KBF National Championship at the time. So I always went to that thing. And it's just kind of, it's been something that I'm really passionate about, love doing it. And, this year coming into 2020, I think it was fall 2020, we saw a Facebook post about KFL, and it was had a picture of a map and some of the teams that are already signed on, and just kind of intrigued me, caught my interest, and so I forwarded it to my buddies that I fish with. That's one of the things I do probably a little bit differently. I know everybody kind of fishes. That's the thing about kayak fishing. We all like to kind of, it's camaraderie and fish together and things like that. And our group, I got a group of 4 or 5 guys we fish every tournament together, travel all over with each other. And so I forwarded them the info on KFL. When we started talking about it, sounded like something that was different, would be fun to do. And so we decided to, give it a try. So that's kind of how we got here today.
Gotcha, man. So you say you've done like every national championship? Is that what it sounded like? Or
no? Once it moved off of Kentucky Lake, I haven't been back.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I did the first. I think it was 3 years. I think they had a KBF Open on Kentucky Lake the first year, won the national championship, and then they did, I think, 2 consecutive national championships on Kentucky Lake. I was at both of those, and then as soon as it moved down south further, I just couldn't make the trip.
Got you. So what kind of fisherman are you? You power fisherman, finesse fisherman, a little bit of both, or do they have a label for it?
Yeah, man, I wouldn't say I box myself in personally to any particular style. That's one of the things that I've tried to really work hard on personally over the past few years is making myself more diverse and, being able to catch fish in every area of the water column and at any time of the year. Me and several of the guys that's on our team, we really do fish 365 days a year. And that's really helped us grow. And like I said, made us adapt to using different styles of, baits and presentations and things like that. So, I wouldn't say I box myself into anything, but I'm always going to have a jig tied on.
My kind of guy.
Yeah. And anytime past, mid-May here in West Virginia, I'm always going to have a topwater tied on. Those two things are always going to be, in the boat. Love throwing a spinner bait. But I can get super finesse too. So, Yeah, I'm not really much of a finesse guy. I'm trying to upgrade myself now, but really, I'm not really adept with the drop shot as of yet. But I like throwing the shaky head. I like getting into liking the wacky rig. I'm not really much of a wacky rig fisherman, but I do like the Nico rig. That to me is a little bit more fun to fish than the wacky rig. Yeah, I've caught fish on a shaky head, I can tell you, but I don't throw it a lot. But that has cashed a lot of checks here locally. Shaky head and, like I said, the Cinco. Those two baits here locally have cashed a lot of checks. It's not two I throw as often, but it's one of the things that usually somebody in the top five's got on their catching fish with. Okay, well, we got a couple of your teammates ready to come on. I'm going to have you introduce them real quick, and then we're going to get them on. We're going to, talk shop. Cool. Looks like they're on. So, yeah, we've got that's my cousin, Andy Schaefer. I'll let him kind of do a more in-depth introduction. But my cousin, Andy Schaefer, he's the one sitting outside. And then that's my buddy, Jared Brown. Y'all might have some military jokes that y'all can share together. He's a veteran like you are. But Jared Brown and Andy Schaefer are the two guys that are joining us tonight. We also have Chris Alcar. He's at his kid's track meet tonight, so he's not able to join us. Jeremy Walker and Trey Delk are the other 3 team members of West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. Okay. So welcome, Mr. Andy Schaefer and Mr. Jared Brown.
Thanks for having us on.
Is it Jared or Gerard? Like, how do you pronounce it?
Jared.
Jared? All right, cool. All right, so welcome to the show, man. I was just talking a little bit with Chris, and he was giving us a little insight to who he is and how he came about kayak fishing, man. So, I'm going to give you guys your chance to do the same. Let's start with you, Mr. Schaefer.
Well, Chris and I are cousins, so we pretty much got into this at the exact same time. He called me one day and asked me if I wanted to fish a local kayak tournament, and actually borrowed a boat for that first tournament and went with him. And after that, I was hooked. I had my own kayak for the next tournament, and that was 7 years ago. I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a little bit, 7 years. What are you fishing out of right now?
I've got a Jackson Kilroy, which was one of my very first good kayak I bought, and currently I'm using the Hobie Compass.
Okay, cool. What's your what would you say is your confidence bait or confidence technique, man?
A black buzzbait. I throw it probably 10 months out of the year.
Really?
Yep.
Black buzz. You know, I don't really throw much top water, man. I don't know. I just don't have much luck with it. I know a lot of people feel like top water is like the most exciting bite. Not for me. I usually miss them on top water. So, but apparently you got it figured out if that top water is your favorite, your favorite technique to throw.
Yeah, it's pretty much 90% power fishing though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are you a guy like a tactician type guy? So you go out with like 10 or 15 rods on the boat, or you take out a few rods?
I usually take 3 to sometimes 4 and end up using 1 or 2 all day.
Gotcha. Hey, Mr. Todd Patrick would like one of you guys, if not all of you, if you have it on you, to show your jersey. Everybody's waiting to see that jersey.
I'll go grab it.
Gotcha.
I'll let those guys talk and go grab it.
Gotcha. So you say you're a 3 to 4 rod type of guy. So you're kind of a minimalist.
I like to keep it simple. I don't like a lot of clutter on a kayak.
Yeah. What kind of you got fish finder on your yak?
I've got one. I don't use it all the time, but in the Kilroy is a little more difficult because I had to have the arm to go over the side. With the Hobie Compass, I've got it mounted in a scupper hole up underneath, and everything ran inside the kayak, so it's nice and clean. All I got to do is plug it in. So I take it out more when I'm on the Hobie.
Oh, there it is. The West Virginia Appalachian Anglers. I like it. So who came up with the name, man?
I would say it would be in a group effort, man. We exchanged about 100 different ideas, and it just kind of would morphed between several good names and just kind of brought together like that, really. So I can't remember all the ideas we threw out there, but we tried several different ones.
Now I'm curious. What was the worst one y'all had in the pool?
Anybody remember?
I can't even remember.
It's been a while, man. I can't. Yeah, it's been a while.
Gotcha. So, all right, Jared, if you don't, your turn, we'll give you the mic for a second to tell us about yourself, man.
Well, I've been kayak fishing on probably 3 or 4 years now, tournaments with Chris. And me and him grew up together from kindergarten on.
Old time buddies, huh?
Down the road. Fishing little farm ponds and stuff like that together. So, actually, we spend a lot of time together now, our families and everything. Our daughters was born on the same day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
it's always good when you can get the families together, like the families are friends, right? So you can get the wives to go hang out with each other and the kids to hang out with each other, and y'all can sneak out with the kayaks,
Yeah, that's the plan usually.
Yeah. I'm working on that right now, actually. Trying to get my wife to befriend one of my homies on the team wife. I had him over here once, and I'm like, it's getting to the point. It's moving in the right direction. I'm like, all right. I mean, it's not like my wife already doesn't let me fish as much as I want to anyway. But so what do you fish out of?
I got a PA-12 360.
Oh, nice. That's like regarded as like the what?
I just got that this winter. I've been pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, I got a lot of buddies with that kayak, man. It's a very nice kayak, no doubt about it. Probably, in what I've seen, one of the most stable kayaks out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a little top heavy compared to what I'm used to, but I mean,
what were you used to before?
Kusa HD.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. But I mean that control has got to be awesome, man. Like, you know.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's. Chris was saying, was up on Lake Michigan last week, and wind to change directions, and it was just effortlessly. I kind of started feeling bad for those guys.
So I was fishing with a buddy of mine right around the time the 360s first came out, and the wind was blowing about 15 to 20 knots, and he's standing up casting a swim jig, you know, and he's leg kicking with one leg on the pedal, you know, and the wind is just spinning, like just blowing me all over the place, and he's just rock solid where he is, man. I'm just like, I was like, man, I hate you right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So, what about you, man? You go out with that arsenal? You take about 10 rods with you?
No, I'm probably at a lake. I usually drag everything I own, but you know, most of the time, if it's us going out for fun fishing or out on the river or something, I'm usually about 4 rods, because usually it's somewhere stupid. So we're going to lose some stuff.
Really?
It usually involves a couple class 3s.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I've never been on anything like that. That's crazy.
Oh, we like to hit them right in the gut.
Well, y'all like to full send it, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do any of you guys do any recording, man? Like when you go out?
We're trying to get better at that. Yeah, I mean, Andy's always been really good at photography, but as far as recording and stuff on the water, it's not anything really any of us have done a lot, but we're all kind of experimenting with it a little bit, because obviously we're trying to get ready for KFL and being prepared for that whole aspect of the tournament. But it's something I wish we did more, because like Jared said, we've been to some pretty cool remote destinations in West Virginia, and we've had to go through some pretty bad water to get there, and wish we could have recorded some of it.
I'll tell you what, man, at least for me and for a couple people who I know who are fishing on KFL teams, when I first got out with my camera, my GoPro and whatnot, or when I first started fishing KBBT and going live, man, it was something in my head about the camera being on there and the pressure of people watching. I got to catch a fish, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I would struggle to catch them. So, I mean, if you can get out there and have your GoPro or whatever recording you, man, get out there and practice with it. I actually got on the water, man. I'll be talking to myself as if, you know, I was talking to the guys on live or whatever when they're asking questions, just to make sure I'm comfortable and make sure you know, I'm presenting myself decently. But it's an aspect that you wouldn't think that would add a obstacle to you.
Yeah, my big thing is I haven't got into the editing piece of it. I know it's a big part of it, and I just haven't had the motivation to come back after fishing all day and take that footage and chop it down and make it into what you see some of these other really good, you know, content creators do. And I'd love to get to that point. You know, it's not something I've been able to do yet, but I know Andy and Jared and all those other guys have been kind of working on it too.
So yeah, I just got a GoPro this year, so I'm trying to mess with it a little bit.
Which one did you get?
I got the 8.
8. Did you get the black or the silver?
Black.
Cool. Yeah, you know you can go live with the 8 black. So
really?
If you don't want to use your phone, you can set up your GoPro and just YouTube it, man. It'll tell you exactly how to go live on your GoPro.
All right.
But tell us about your home orders you guys picked for your home matches.
Who wants to speak on that?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, so for our home waters, we chose, 3 bodies of water here locally. We picked the Elk River, which I'm sitting here looking at right now. I live on the Elk. The Elk River, the Greenbrier River, and probably the most well-known for, the audience outside of West Virginia would be the New River. Those are our 3 bodies of water. And it's one of those things where, we tried to select a team that's diverse and has strengths on both rivers and lakes. But as you hear like Greg and others talk about KFL and kind of how they vision, this league working, he kind of talks about it in a way where, he compares it to the NFL or MLB, and where home field advantage is big. And so when we were kind of talking about it this winter, how we were going to do this, we didn't necessarily pick bodies of water that were, maybe fish to our strengths the most. It was more around what's going to give us the biggest home field advantage. And so, that's really kind of how we approach it. West Virginia, I mean, you probably don't know this, but our lakes are extremely small. I mean, our biggest lake in the state is what? Anybody know off the top of your head?
2,600 acres.
Yeah, 2,600 acres. I mean, that's a cove in some of these other lakes in other states. And
Man, I can tell you that's pretty much bigger than every lake I have right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but those are our biggest. I mean, you got a lot bigger in Virginia, though. That's so really we've always kind of gravitated to the rivers in our state because for some of the bigger kayak tournaments, it just allows you to spread out more. And so we kind of sat down and looked at what all options we had, and cell service came into play, obviously, because of how we're wanting to do the live footage stuff. And so long story short, that's kind of how we narrowed it down is we know our state's known for rivers way better than it is for our lakes. And so we wanted to showcase the best fisheries our state's had to offer. And those just happen to be rivers outside of lakes. I know a lot of guys, are not familiar with that, river fishing, and usually correlate lakes to bigger fish. But that's kind of different here in our state. I mean, you can go out in any one of those three bodies of water I just mentioned and catch a, 22 and a half inch, 21 inch, whatever, smallmouth. So there's big fish in those waters, and that's really why we chose them.
Todd Patrick wants you to know that he's weaving back and forth across the New River as we speak.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he says he's there on PA 14.
PA 14. He said,
I wouldn't think that a PA would be like a Hobie Pro Angler or a 360 would be a good river boat. Is it a good river boat just because how big it is, and then you got the pedals? I mean the fins. It works pretty well on the river there, Jared.
I don't know. I ain't really tried it.
Oh no, you don't take.
Yeah,
you don't take it on the river.
Well, I go on the river about every couple of weeks, but we really haven't been hitting them hard yet this year. We've been pretty much traveling, hitting Del Holla and Lake Michigan, stuff like that so far. But
so that's pretty smart of you guys, man. To think about it tactically speaking, what would give it. I feel like any area, any of the teams, any area, like their biggest home field advantage is going to be rivers, right? Because I could do my research on the lakes and look at the Navionics, look at Google Earth, look at whatever, but it's easier to. I feel like it's easier to find and pattern fish on a lake than it is on a especially a big expansive river. So I mean that was pretty smart of you guys to think tactically. And I know a little bit about the New River, man. I know it's got a good smallmouth. It's a good smallmouth fishery.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're all three of those bodies of water are really good fisheries. The other part of it too is, man, we want to give somebody an experience when they come in for our home games. I mean, we want it to be something that somebody, remembers from West Virginia and takes away a good positive. Our state don't always have the best image and things like that, and so we want to bring people in and really showcase the scenery and beauty of the state, and taking them to one of our local lakes. I mean, and have them catching most likely not a lot of good fish, we just didn't feel like that was the best way of doing that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it gives us a little bit of a home field advantage, but at the same time, I think people are really going to come in and enjoy themselves on those tournaments that we got going on.
Absolutely, man. Like we're actually in the process of maybe tweaking ours a little bit, simply because I don't feel like anybody who's gonna come to watch us wants to come see a 5 fish to 8 fish match, or a 2 fish to 3 fish match. One team catches 3 fish, the other team catches 2. Like, they want to see us catch fish. So like we want to put these matches on places that have a good chance to produce good fish. You know what I mean? And it's just fun entertainment and good fishery. And I'm looking forward to fishing so many places that I have never fished and that are bucket list places. So what'd you think? What'd you think, Andy, when Chris approached you about KFL?
I had heard a little bit about it before, or at the same time, I guess, and I was actually kind of interested in it myself. And he brought it up, and like you said earlier, the group of guys we fish with, we always fish together, so it made a lot of sense to put that team together, and it just kind of fell right into place.
So what's your favorite part about the whole concept, the whole KFL concept?
I think it's the team aspect against another team instead of everybody against themselves, or everybody against each other. I kind of like the team aspect of it.
Hey, Justin Staley from the Indy Knights wants you guys to know he's ready to come play y'all in June.
We're ready to have him. It's gonna be a good tournament. So
with the the start of the season's right around the corner, man. You guys getting amped for it?
Oh, dude, we're itching, man. It seems like it's going to take forever for June 12th to get here, but it'll be here before we know it.
So who's your first match against?
It's the Indy Knights. They're coming in to us June 12th, and that will be on the Elk River. So it's going to be the elk should be fishing really well around that time, and I think we're going to see some good fish caught.
Oh, that's what's up, man. It looks like they're ready, man. They're already talking smack. So who's your smack talker on your team? Who's going to be the one out there keeping it gangster, so to speak?
Man, I don't know. With us tonight.
Say again, Andy.
I said neither one of them's with us tonight.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to that. If you got some good smack talkers. So they're coming to you guys on the 12th on the Elk River, huh?
Yep.
Have you guys already figured out who your starting four is going to be? And I guess a couple along with that question is, how have you decided to go about picking and deciding who's going to start for each match?
So yeah, we do already got our starters for that tournament. We didn't really. We kind of based it more off of just not trying to overwhelm one individual person. We tried to split it up so that one person's obviously not fishing back to back because some of these tournaments run multiple weeks in a row. And so we more based it around that, trying to split the load up than we did. We thought this person was going to fish better than on this body of water or vice versa. We didn't really take that approach. We just tried to spread out the workload a little bit.
She got you a burger.
Okay. Yeah, because, that's an aspect you got to think about, right? And I think that's another thing that adds to the allure or the excitement with this format, man. Trying to decide who's going to fish this week in this matchup. You got to look at people's strengths and weaknesses, or really, one thing I talked to my team about is I'm going to base a lot of it based off of who's hot, right? Us as anglers, we know that when somebody's hot and they're just on a hot streak, even if necessarily they wouldn't be the best choice on whatever body of water you're fishing on. If they're hot, man, it's just like basketball. If the guy's got the hot hand, you feed him, right? So that was something that I talked to my team about and that I take into account as well.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand that approach. But we're really not doing that. We already know every single one of us know which tournaments we're fishing. We're all fishing 4 tournaments apiece.
Oh, okay.
So we already have the dates and schedule set aside and all that stuff. So, but I totally get your approach too. It's a good idea.
So that's awesome. You already got it figured out who's going to fish each match. There's no misunderstandings of who's this, but that's an awesome approach. Now maybe we'll look into doing that further down the line, because it pays to be diversified in how you handle things. So I never even thought about that, man. So you just maybe added a little ticklet for me.
Yeah.
So Jared, man, you excited about this matchup against Indy, man?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you know anybody from the team?
No, I don't. I've never
No?
met any of those guys.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get them here and have a
Get them shined up night
in a
before.
camp somewhere and have a good time.
It's funny you bring that up, man. That's another thing that I'm looking forward to with this whole setup is I know whenever teams come here to play us, man, we're gonna when we're not on the water, we're not in the match. We're gonna have some beers. I'm gonna throw some stuff on the grill. I'm a person who loves to smoke meat, so I'm gonna throw some stuff on. This is gonna be a great time, man. And then when we get on the water, I'm gonna try to rip their heads off.
Yeah, exactly.
Figuratively speaking.
We're gonna feed them a lot of moonshine too, man. Night before.
Hey, man, keep everybody's gonna have a clear glass. They're gonna have moonshine. You're gonna have water, right? Yeah.
Do my best work when I'm trashed.
So, do you guys have any team sponsors?
No, we don't right now, and that was kind of more planned than it was anything else. Something else we talked about in the off season, we just made a team decision. Not that we actually had a couple of sponsors that were interested in actually supporting us this year, and we thought it would go over better with them if we basically said, let us show what we can do this year, and then we'll come back to you in 2022, and we'll need your support then. So we're basically doing everything out of pocket this year, and we're going to try to show what we can do from not only a fishing standpoint, but a promotional standpoint. We're trying to do better about creating some graphics and getting those out on the Facebook page, things like that, just so they can see that we, what our capabilities are. And then I think we'll feel a little bit more comfortable about going to somebody and asking them for support next year once we have more of a resume built up.
Got you. That makes sense, man. That's actually a very good approach, I think. I think I remember you saying something like that in the owners chat. And I remember when you said it, I was like, man, that's actually pretty legit right there. Because if this thing blows up like it has the potential of doing, it makes sense that upon year 2, you'll probably be able to lay out some things that you want, not asking for some things, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
we're wide open and we don't need nobody.
Hey man, I hear it. All you need is that kayak and them rod and reels, right?
Yeah. We've got a few companies now that know what we're doing and they're kind of paying attention, and so now we can. It's just going to be, I think, a more. It's going to create for an easier conversation with those companies next year when we come and start talking about some, potential sponsorship.
So, looking at your schedule here, do you see any team being a rivalry team or whatnot, like a team that you really on your schedule that you really starring that you want to beat?
I mean, I don't. I'm not going to speak for the other guys. Hopefully, I think maybe we'll develop some rivalries once we get some time on the water with these guys. But I respect all 3 of those away teams we got to go to, and they all got some really good anglers on their team, and I think it has the potential to develop some rivalries. We were in the off season, we kind of were crossing our fingers that we would maybe draw the Susquehanna team because we all wanted to go up to fish the Susky, but that didn't happen. So
Yeah. I've heard great things about the Susky, man. I hear the smallmouth there are just mean.
they are. That's
Have you been?
a fact.
Have you been there before, Jared?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're-
tough. I don't know. It's like it's a different breed of smallmouth.
That's what I heard, man. I actually this last KBF, well, not the last one, but the KBF event at Potomac, I went out with Greg, and he took me smallmouth fishing because I never caught a smallmouth, and we did it, I guess, pretty old school way, man. We waded the river and fished, and I caught my first smallmouth. Granted, I mean, it was only like a 12-incher, man, but I was ecstatic. I thought that 12-incher was like a 2-pound fish.
A 16-incher out of the Susky will break you off right now. It's unreal.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, just wait till you catch your first 18-plus inch smallmouth in current. I mean, that's a different feeling, man. It's an adrenaline rush.
Let's see about some questions we got here. Todd Patrick said Jody Queen's a free agent for you guys in your area.
For sure, man. Jody is a good friend of ours. We would love to potentially get Jody on the team someday.
I'm tell you what, I'm gonna tell you this honestly, I would not love for you to do that.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't do that. We'll be okay with that one.
There's not many guys in this community that know the New River better than Jody Queen does. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Thanks a lot, Todd. Don't you got to go do some work or something? So, Andy, are all you guys more so smallmouth, geared towards smallmouth? You prefer the brown over the green, or what?
I guess for the most part, as long as I'm on the water catching bass, I don't mind which ones they are.
How often do you fish?
Much as I can. Probably not as much as I want, but get out quite a bit.
That's what's up, man. I get out probably. Don't tell nobody, man, but I get out probably like 5 times a week. Yeah. I get off work and one of my favorite places to fish is right across the street from my job. So like I walk out of my building and I walk out of my work building and then I just walk across the street and put the kayak in. And I stay until the wife yells at me. Yeah. So anyway, Jody, man, so you guys are buddies with Jody, huh?
We're buddies with Jody. Jody actually cut his teeth in our local trail that I was talking about earlier, Mountain State Kayak Anglers. He started fishing those tournaments and taking all of our money back in the day. And, that trail's birthed a lot of national well-known names like Matt Ball, Jody Queen, Tim Isaacs,
Oh, really?
Mark Edwards. A lot of those guys are, annually in the top 10 of one of the National Trails Angler of the Year race. And we got a lot of good sticks in the state, and we take a lot of pride in that.
That's what's up, man. So, hey, man, these guys are letting you know right now, West Virginia Appalachian anglers are coming to play. You might not know it, but these guys are some sticks. I looked up some of your stats. I did a little stalking, just so you know. My wife taught me how to Facebook stalk and other things.
The women are pretty good at Facebook stalking. I mean, it's a good one to learn from.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Hey, man, that's a sweet beard you got there, Andy.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, when people see my beard, they do not realize I'm in the military. They're like, you're in the military, but you have a beard. I'm like, yeah, man, I have a no shave chick. I have a permanent no shave chick, actually.
It's starting to get hot. It might have to get thinned out a little bit soon.
Yeah. Well, I can't let it get too long. I got to keep it trimmed short. I really want to have mine like yours. But when it gets long, my wife starts yelling at me, and she's like, "You need to, cut the thing down or whatnot." But it happens. So who are the other members of your team again?
We got Jeremy Walker.
Jeremy Walker.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, another guy that's kind of grown up with all of us. Our team is very close knit. I mean, we don't have anybody on our team that is not someone we're very, comfortable being around. So yeah, we got Jeremy Walker, Chris Alcar, and then Trey Delk. We don't have any alternates, so
that was my next question.
Yeah, we just rolling with our 16 members.
Gotcha. And what you guys already haven't figured out who's going to play in each match, then it's good to go. Vice, anything happening and someone not being able to make it.
Yep.
So you guys already started practicing or putting in a little time on the water to see what they're doing for your upcoming match?
No, not really. I think Jared floated the Elk, which is where our first tournament is this weekend, but he was with the wife and kids. I think he was helping them catch some fish more than he was doing anything. But no, we haven't spent a lot of time yet, but we'll probably next couple of weeks try to get out there.
Gotcha, man. This season it seems like like a month ago it was like, man, it's so far away, but now it's just like I'm just getting pumped just thinking about the start of it. I'll tell you, you guys might not have a rivalry yet, but I have a team I want you to beat, and you need to beat down the Warhawks. All right,
that's our plan.
They beat us in our preseason match, but. Yeah, so that's kind of like our rivalry. So, beat them down to the ground. Greg Nosar outfished my team in our preseason match.
Yeah, he caught a big fish that tournament, didn't he?
Yeah, he got it was all right fish. He wasn't there with that big. No, he got it was like I want to say it was a 21, maybe 20. No, it was a 21 or 20, something like that. But I think he was the only one with a limit. And he had a limit for like 85 inches. And I think as a team, we had 70 something inches or maybe. He beat us himself. And then Bobby got like a 20. Bobby said he's looking forward to you guys' match in the thread here on week 2. And you guys, where are you having Washington at in your match? Let me take a look.
Washington.
Greenbrier River.
Yeah, Greenbrier River.
Greenbrier River.
That is a beautiful river. Beautiful river.
Does it flow? Does it flow pretty good?
There's some stretches that had some decent rapids. Nothing real big like the New River, but it's all. There's not a lot of slow moving water. I mean, it's all pretty much moving current on most of the stretches.
Gotcha. Hey, Todd Patrick asked, what match are you guys most looking forward to traveling to?
The one I'm not fishing, that would be St. Clair.
Oh, who are you facing on Sinclair?
Motor City.
Dude, have any of you guys ever fished St. Clair?
No.
I have not.
Did you watch any of the KBBT Elite 8 and not Elite 8, but a Sweet 16, any of that?
No, I didn't. I mean, I know Todd was up there and he did really well, but
Todd and Eric Siddiqui were there. And man, when I tell you Eric was just catching footballs, man, I'm talking about 19-inch, 20-inch smallies, one after another, just straight footballs. Yeah. I'm jealous. That's a good place you guys are going right there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, being in the middle of the summer. I don't have a clue where those fish may be at, but hopefully we can get up there for a couple of days and try to figure something out.
Hey, Andy, I mean, that's the one you're not fishing, but it don't mean you can't go up there and, put some pre-fishing in or do some on the water recording for these guys or, do a little fishing.
Yeah, that may be the plan.
Yeah.
I may have to try to make that happen.
Exactly. What about you, Jared? You got one that you're most looking forward to? Maybe because of the body of water or the team or the people you're going up against, whatever it may be.
I'm looking forward to going to Shenandoah River.
Shenandoah, okay. Yep. Just the mean smallies. That's what I hear about. So St. Clair.
It's pretty close to home, and it's somewhere we've never hit. So
really?
Yeah.
I think the Shenandoah is about probably like 5 hours from me.
That's about what it is from us.
You call that close?
Yeah.
Man, I hate to drive. I hate driving, man. I just fished a CKA event down in North Carolina at Baden Lake, and that was like a 4-hour drive, and I was just ornery the entire time, man. Just
We're all fresh off of a 26-hour round trip to Lake Michigan, so driving really ain't nothing for us right now.
No.
I hear Lake Michigan, the waters can get really dangerous really quick on that lake.
It can. Yeah, it definitely can. But luckily, the weather cooperated for us most of the time, so that wasn't
How'd
a
you
big
do?
deal.
How'd you do? Did you catch them pretty good?
Oh, yeah, we did really well. The fish were moving up on beds, and, it's we caught a lot of really nice fish. I think Jared had the biggest of the weekend, 21 3/4, something like that.
I caught 2 21 3/4 in the same hour.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good hour there.
And I mean, it was calling your shot. You knew when you was going to get a fish.
Nice.
And there was 6 of us fishing the same area all day, every day.
I bet you hope you can do that during these matches, right? Call your shot for every fish, huh?
Yeah.
There's a 21 sitting right there.
If it's like Lake Michigan, we'll be out of there in 15 minutes, heading back to the house.
Todd Patrick said he'd take his whole team even if they weren't starting to fish.
So, Robert, do you think there's a team right now? Are you willing to say that there's a favorite to win all of this? I mean, if Vegas had odds on it right now,
No.
Pretty even playing field?
Not at all. I don't think that there's a favorite team to win. Here's the great thing I like about this, man, this KFL thing, is a lot of the people on these teams, nobody really knows about. But just because you're not known doesn't mean a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just met Jared. Jared is possibly a super good stick. We'll find out, right? So like, just because, these teams have some well-known anglers doesn't mean that they're a favorite to win it, because I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. I'm a pretty well-known angler in this area, but there's some anglers that nobody knows about that are just, oh my God, sticks. Like, I soak up any information I can get from these guys. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's a favorite to win it all. I'll tell you my personal opinion on it is that this area, like when I say this area, I mean like north of us, probably have a very good chance of going far, because what I've noticed is that the northern anglers are pretty diversified. They're pretty flexible in their techniques and the different techniques that they can fish. So that gives them a little bit of an edge, and a lot of the northern anglers travel to fish, so they've seen the southern lakes, they've seen the stuff that's west. So that's my personal opinion on it. But man, I think the team that's going to win this thing is nobody's really expecting it.
Yeah,
maybe with the West Virginia Appalachian anglers. You know what I'm saying?
we're gonna try.
Look at Andy. Andy's down there like, you GD right. We're going to win this thing.
We are going to try. My phone's about to die on y'all.
Well, so you said you don't have any team sponsors. You guys have any personal sponsors?
I do not know.
Well, after this, we might notice after this season, you might start getting, or during the season, you might start getting some calls. You guys get out there and start after you beat the Washington Warhawks. We're gonna make sure some people call you, offer some stuff. So, anything, any people you guys are want to thank, or just anything you want to say before we close this out?
No, man, just thanks for having us on. Hopefully this worked out okay. I know this is the first team interview. So,
yeah,
hopefully everything worked out good. But we're looking forward to getting the season started on June 12th against Indianapolis. And then I'm interested to see how all this is going to play out, man. I think the concept is great. And I think it's got a ton of potential. And so we'll kind of see how it all shakes out.
So, yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. But I think it's going to be it's going to be on us, the anglers. The potential that's there. If all of us put the work in and make this thing as great as it can be, man, it's only going to get bigger next year. You know what I mean? Each year is only going to get better. And then the great part about it is we're going to start to develop rivalries. As we go through this season, you're going to start to go up against people, and you're going to be like,
I want to beat that guy.
I really want to beat that guy.
Yeah.
Like for me, I really for our team, we've already discussed it, right? For the privateers, team we really want to beat is Florida Copperheads, and they're coming to Norfolk to fish against us. Yeah.
Do you all know where have you told them where they're fishing yet?
We're going to put them in a puddle in the backyard somewhere, No, yeah, we know where we're fishing them, man. We're going to put them boys on the river. Test their resolve. See what old Conrad Benetti can do on that moving water.
Put them on some clear water.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys for coming on, man, and look forward to seeing what you guys are gonna do for the rest of the season, man. And I'm just excited for it, man. I have a bye week the first week, so I'm gonna be watching you guys.
All right.
And go out there and stick all them big girls.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good evening, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Thanks for having us.
And that was the West Virginia Appalachian Anglers, man. Good group of guys, man. They got it all figured out. Looks like, man. They already got to figure out who's going to fish what matchup, who's going to fish the home games, the away games. The lakes figured out, and sounds like they've all been fishing together for since knee high. So that's going to be tough. Them having that type of camaraderie and knowing each other that well. That's going to make them a pretty good team. You know what I mean? So, and that's the great part about this kayak fishing league, man. It's all about the team and not so much about the specific singular angler. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing, man. And y'all have a good night and tight lines. KFL tonight out.